Are there poisons that can only cause cancer in the state of California? I'm Danny Curtin. Thanks for joining me today. California's Proposition 65. It became law several decades ago, and it requires many products to have a cancer warning on them. The warning states, this product contains a chemical known to the state of California to cause cancer and other birth defects or other reproductive harm. Now, when you first read this warning, doesn't it sound like the cancer or birth defect risk is only going to occur in the state of California? The labeling is confusing because the warning is on so many products being sold outside of the state. In actuality, the warning should state, this product contains a chemical, usually a naturally occurring chemical that Californians are required to be warned about. Now, the law was originally intended to prohibit California businesses from disposing of a large amount of any of some roughly 900 chemicals that could end up in the drinking water. But it also requires businesses to warn consumers if the business itself or the business's products expose their customers to any of these chemicals. And unfortunately, toxic levels of these chemicals seem to be determined completely arbitrarily. For example, lead. Now, lead isn't everything, it's not healthy, but it is in the ground. And if you're consuming a product that comes from the ground, like fruits and vegetables, lead will be absorbed into that product. Now, the Prop 65 lead limit for supplements is 1/2 of a microgram per day. However, the EPA, or the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, they have a lead limit for drinking water set at 15 micrograms per liter. What this means is that if you drink about a 1/4 cup of water considered safe by the EPA, you would find yourself well beyond the safe daily limit according to Prop 65. Now, lead is just one example, but there are tiny limits on all of these chemicals, which forces companies to put this warning on anything sold in California. And what's even more ridiculous is that you'll see this warning on items like jewelry, extension cords, parking garages, organic supplements, and even bathing suits. So when a warning is presented on something that truly has a chemical of serious concern, it's most likely ignored. And to make matters even worse, the real harm is created during the enforcement process. The state government in California encourages everyday consumers to blow the whistle on businesses that should be, but aren't, displaying this warning. This has become a big business because whomever brings the complaint is entitled to the majority of the money coming either from the fine or through the settlement of the case. In fact, the incentive is so great that the overwhelming majority of these complaints are filed against businesses that weren't ever intended to be targeted by Prop 65 in the first place. Most of the businesses are small to mid-sized. They can't afford to fight a several $million-dollar lawsuit, so they will typically wind up settling the lawsuit on average for anywhere between $50,000 and $100,000. Imagine if that was you. Being an owner of a jewelry store or a parking lot, or even a lemonade stand, and being sued for not displaying a warning about a tiny amount of a naturally occurring chemical that may be present in your food or at your place of business. And it's almost always the same plaintiffs and attorneys bringing these cases. One person might literally bring lawsuits to hundreds or even thousands of companies that may not even know about the law. If you're ever curious, click the link in the description below to see some of the lawsuits filed over the last 2 years. You'll see the pattern that I'm talking about. And you'll also see the poisonous tennis rackets, coffee mugs, strawberries, and packing tape. I'll leave you with this. What should you do if you see these warnings? Well, you can do one of two things. You can ignore it, or you can ask the company why that warning is there. The warning in and of itself does not mean it is a bad product. So understanding why it's there and what it means for you and your situation is the best you can do. Again, thanks for watching. I'm Danny Curtin. We'll see you on the next one.